Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about what you should consider feeding your husky and what kind of preparation goes into looking into dog foods and what you should research and all that good stuff. So let's just jump right into it. First, let's start off with what you should even look for in dog foods and where you should really begin. I would recommend if you're looking for a kibble-based dog food, especially if you have a young puppy and you're not really familiar with raw feeding and you don't want to try to get into all the craziness that goes into that, I would highly recommend going to smaller local boutique pet shops in your area. These kind of smaller boutiques tend to have owners and employees that really know what they're talking about when it comes to pet nutrition and what you should be feeding your dogs. They also carry a lot of the smaller and some of them are larger, but much more high quality brands that actually care about the nutrition of your dog and aren't just putting out dog food just to put out dog food. Huskies as a breed require a lot more protein than most other breeds. And so when you're looking at foods, it's really important to check the back of the dog food bag or box, depending on what you're buying, and look at the nutrition information and the protein count, because the higher the better. But it's also really important to make sure that you're seeing where that protein is coming from. If the dog food that you're looking at has a high protein count, but the protein is coming from a not so good source like chicken byproduct meal or those kind of meats, then I would definitely avoid feeding that food because your dog is not going to get a really high quality protein from that brand. Besides food, these smaller boutique shops in your area that sell dog products may also have a lot of really high quality supplements and other healthier chews and treats to give your dog, rather than giving them things like raw hides and things that can be not so good for them. Another important aspect of choosing a dog food is looking at how many recalls that brand has had in the past, or if ever. Recalls may be a sign of the brand being very careless with the kind of ingredients that they're putting into their food, and especially where they source it from. So it's very important if you're looking at a dog food brand to see if that brand has had any recalls in the past, what those recalls were for, and if they've had that repeatedly, especially over long periods of time. I personally feed Voodoo Kibble. I've given her raw supplements like turkey necks and raw meat every once in a while, but it's not something that is a very integral part of her diet. This is for many reasons. One of them is I have a newborn baby, and handling raw meat very often is something that I just really don't want to do around her, and I don't want to have dry hands from washing my hands all the time. Kibble is also much more convenient, especially if you're traveling a lot and you have people watching your dogs. Raw feeding can be very tedious to try to show someone how to do it, and the portions have to be near exact to give them the nutrition that they need. And for the regular dog owner, it's just much more convenient and easier to feed them kibble. The kibble brand that I feed is Victor. They are awesome. I've loved them. My dogs have done very well on them. But this does not mean that you specifically should feed your husky Victor. Every dog does different on different foods, whether it be because of how their stomach digests things, or they may have different allergies than Voodoo does. So it's really important to listen to your dog, and you can try a lot of different foods if you're not 100% sure which brand your dog is going to do the best on. When switching between different kibbles, it's really important to make sure that you either fast them for an entire 24-hour day before switching them over to the new kibble, or just incrementally supplementing it into their old food and eventually taking out the old food and fully giving them the new food. There are a lot of different kibbles out there, and so it's really important that you find the kibble that's best for your dog. I really like Victor because it has a really high protein count. They've never had any recalls. Their brand is very centered on nutrition, and they're a very transparent brand, which I can really appreciate as a dog owner. Victor is a food that is much harder to find. They are mostly sold in small boutique dog shops. They're not sold in PetSmart or Petco, and they are even kind of hard to find as far as pet boutiques go. Whether you're feeding your dog raw or kibble, you may want to consider looking into giving them supplements with their kibble. A supplement that I really love is the Honest Kitchen. They're an incredible brand of dehydrated fruits and vegetables and meats, and it's just a really incredible supplement to give your dog. You can either give them half Honest Kitchen or half kibble. It really just depends, or you can just give them one little scoop of Honest Kitchen and just pour a little bit of water in there and mix it up. Either way is great, and the Honest Kitchen is a brand that I would recommend to everyone. They're awesome, and I have seen tremendous improvements in my dog's coats, in their eyes, like their eyes seem brighter, their teeth seem cleaner when I feed it to them. So I would highly, highly recommend them to anyone that would want to try them as a supplement. A few other supplements that you might be interested in adding in is coconut or fish oil, because those can be really, really beneficial for your dog's coat and skin health. Goat kefir or kefir, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, is really, really good for their digestive tract and adding probiotics into their food, which can really help with stomach issues that your dogs might have. If you are interested in learning how to feed raw, which I personally don't do, so I don't feel comfortable recommending it to anyone, but if you want to learn more about it, if you're interested in feeding your dog raw, I would highly, highly recommend that you join the Raw Feeding Community group on Facebook. It is a group full of experts on raw. They're geniuses and wizards with raw feeding, and they're very, very helpful people. If you have any questions about it, they can help you a lot, whether it's starting a puppy out on raw, switching your dog over to raw, or just making little adjustments depending on their diet or allergies. I hope this video helped you guys kind of nail down which kibble you might be thinking about and you've kind of settled on it, or you want to stay away from it, because there are so many choices out there and it can be really overwhelming and confusing to pick up the right kibble for your dog. As always, if you guys have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments down below and I will get back to you and try to answer them as best as I can. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you. I will see you next time. All right, bye.